Welcome to week 2, and this week we're going to talk about contrast and repetition, the first of 2 design principles that we're going to cover in this course. So our first objective is going to be identify the theories and principles that impact multimedia learning. It's important for us to get this foundation at this initial stage because we're going to build upon this knowledge. To explore these theories and principles, you have 2 course readings this week. One is going to be a book chapter about instructional design, and the other one is going to be specifically about multimedia learning, and I'll talk about that shortly. We're also going to review examples of multimedia products. You're going to see that in your second reading, but also you're going to see that in the work that we're doing in the course. So for instance, this is a multimedia product that you're looking at right now. We're going to focus specifically on the examples of contrast and repetition. These are 2 design principles, and these are the first of 4 that we're going to look at. And then what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate your use of those principles by doing a PowerPoint activity. So I want to talk about contrast. So this is a meme that I actually found on the internet. Someone posted on their Facebook wall, and you can see it's something from Forrest Gump. So you can kind of make out the lettering, but it's a little bit hard to read. The principle of contrast would say that we need to create a little bit of contrast. So all I did is I left the line to text and put a black box behind it with a little bit of transparency. And if you compare these 2, you can see there's a marked difference in able to see. There are probably some other things that I would change, such as the font style, how much text is on the slide, but you can see with just a little bit of contrast how much easier it is to look at this picture. For repetition, we're going to look at a couple different things. One of the things that I want to teach you with repetition is you're going to be making a table of contents, and you're going to be using the slide master, and I'll provide some tutorials for you on how to do that. Another way we could do repetition and look at it is by using what's called Format Painter, which is a really cool tool and one that I've created a video for. So let's say we have these 3 pictures, and let's say we apply this style and we take some time and we put the blue outline on it, and then we want to apply that style to each of the other images. By using the concept of repetition, and specifically using the Format Painter, we're able to very easily apply the same style to each of the pictures. I'm going to teach you how to do that, but this is an example of how I want you to apply the principles and how I want you to do a design element and then copy it to 3 different pictures. So let's talk briefly about your readings. So first you're going to have a short reading, which is a book chapter about what is this instructional design stuff anyway. It's going to provide your introduction to instructional design. It also introduces ADDIE. Now ADDIE is something we're going to use throughout the course, so it's helpful for you to get this overview and this introduction to it. And we're also going to have some terms that we'll use, such as facilitator, subject matter expert. These are going to be very important for us as we move forward in the course. The second reading is going to be the value of multimedia learning. In this, we're going to look at the integration of multimedia into learning, and we're also going to have some examples of multimedia usage. So, as I mentioned before, we're looking at 4 design principles this semester: contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. This week, we're going to look at the first 2, contrast and repetition, and they're coming from this 9 Designers Design book by Robin Williams. Now, this is Robin Williams, the author, not the actor. I think this is a great book. If you want to buy it, I think it's $16 on the Kindle version through Amazon. It's a book that I refer to all the time and use in my own work. And I've pulled a couple of videos that will introduce these 2 principles for you. So your assignments this week are what I've been calling the good, the bad, and the ugly discussion form. So with this discussion form, I want to focus on contrast and repetition. One of the things that I have found as a designer is very helpful is if once I know the principles and I'm looking for them, I start to notice them. So in this discussion form, what I'm interested in you doing, I've divided you into 3 groups, so you'll have a smaller group so you won't be overwhelmed with the posting, is I want you to share at least one example that you find this week of something that's either good, bad, or ugly that uses contrast and repetition. This could be any media that you find. This could be a meme, as I showed you earlier. This could be a website. It could be anything you find. What I want you to do is to share to the discussion forum, into your group discussion forum, and explain what it is that you either liked about it if it was a good example, or didn't like about it if it was a bad or ugly, and explain maybe what you would change. There's no expectation for you to actually redesign it. I simply want you to have a discussion and share with your group members things that you find. I think it will be helpful for you to look at these examples. The second thing, and this is something I'm trying to do more of this semester in this redesign of the course, so I want to give you some actual practice with the design principles. So what you're going to have to do by Sunday is you're going to need to do a PowerPoint activity. Now this PowerPoint activity is going to be a 4-slide PowerPoint, and what it's going to do is going to give you the opportunity to demonstrate your ability to put into practice these contrast and repetition principles. So what you're going to need to do first is you're going to need to do an apply design and then change one of the elements. In order to change the elements, you're going to have to go into the slide master. I want you to create a table of contents slide. Now we're going to create this in PowerPoint. I'm going to show you how to do that in PowerPoint. This is going to be one of your requirements for your individual project in Captivate. So it's helpful for you to get some exposure and learn how to create this, because the principles and techniques that you're using are going to be very similar once you get to Captivate. Then I want you to do something that shows contrast. So you could do something like I did with a text picture. You could do bubbles, you could do shapes, just something that shows contrast. That's on one of your slides. On another slide, I want you to have an image. It could be any image that you want. Put it on the slide, and I want you to do some design elements. So you saw in the example I had where I had a border, I had some shadow. I want to see a couple design elements that you can do, and you can use that once you click on the image, and I'll show you how to do that with the ribbon in PowerPoint. Then what I want you to do is create 3 other images on the next slide. And I want you to use the format painter to take it from the picture from the one slide and apply it to the subsequent 3 pictures. I then want you to make sure you have a navigation that lets you navigate between each of these different slides, but it's important that you do not have the home button appear on that table of contents slide. So it's a 4-slide PowerPoint, and don't worry if this is a little bit challenging or confusing for you. I've created a video for each of these concepts for you within the assignment area. So what you'll do, you'll review the tutorials, you'll make this PowerPoint, and you will submit this 4-slide PowerPoint. You could do more slides if you want, and you need to submit that as a PowerPoint file to the Canvas site by Sunday, January 20th. So good luck. If you have any problems or any challenges, please post to the student lounge area, because that will be an opportunity for you to share and get information from your classmates. Make this